for those notorious thugs. Busy, wish, lazy, crazy, flesh, and that nigga DJ Nick.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to a really random but kind of not random video. I just got done, well, not recently, but just today, listening to the new quote-unquote Bone Thugs-n-Harmony album, Art of War, World War III. I remember seeing it announced, well, I think it was announced way back in 2012, and then earlier this year it was confirmed. Now, I didn't think too much about it. You know, I saw a cool promo for it on YouTube, and they were promoting it on their Facebook page and whatnot, but, you know, I didn't do too much research into it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it turns out, apparently, that this is one of those just kind of thrown together, not like an official studio album by Bone Thugs, and it contains some cut tracks from their 2010 album, Unified, The World's Enemy, and some other random songs on there. Now, all in all, I want to say the album's not bad. It's not their best work by far. But the problem with this album is, and the reason why I played that little intro there, is, you know, Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. There are 5 members of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. Crazy, Lazy, Busy, Wish, and Flesh. Now, over the course of the 20 years that they've been together, been in the public's eye, if you will, it's going on 20 years, rather. 1994 is when Creepin' on the Come Up was released. They had, you know, their fair share of problems. You know, Busy leaving the group, coming back. Busy getting kicked out of the group, coming back. Flesh and Bone was in jail. He did a 10-year sentence. Crazy Bone left the group, and now, which I forgot about until this album, Lazy Bone stepped back to focus on his solo career. This is all fine, well, and good. Now, I don't know if I said this at the beginning here, but this album, again, they discredited this album. Crazy Bone and Wishbone are only on a couple of the songs. Other than that, the tracks pretty much feature Busy Bone, Lazy Bone, and Flesh and Bone. Now, a few years back, they've released a couple albums, Busy and Lazy, that is, under Bone Brothers. This album, definitely a Bone Brothers album, featuring Flesh and Bone, since he is on all the other tracks. But the problem is, the biggest problem I have with this album is the use of the title, Art of War, World War III. As you know, many of you know, probably the people watching this video who are fans of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, in 1997 they released a double CD entitled The Art of War. Each disc 1 was World War I, and disc 2 was World War II. This is a classic album. Not quite as classic as East 1999 Eternal, but it's right up there. And this is right before the problems started to happen, and things started to get a little crazy in the Bone crew, amidst label beefs, because at this point Eazy had died, and his wife Tamika had taken over the company, so they felt they were not getting money, and that's where the whole problems with Busy started, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. Skip ahead all these years, you know, they've always remained in the game, maybe not as prevalent as they once were, but skip ahead all these years. 2010 rolls around, Flesh is out of jail, all 5 of them reunite and drop an album, which is a great album. Unified is a great album. You can see the maturity in their lyrics, but it was still the same old, you know, Bone flow that you heard. Then things were great, and a lot of people were happy that all 5 were there. But here we are, only 3, going on 4 short years later, and we get an album like this. Now, like I said, I understand, that the group, people grow and people change, but one of the lyrics on the song Back in the Days, Busy Bone starts off something like, back in the day we used to play, however it goes, and he said, now Crazy and Lay won't even talk unless one of them passes away. Now, that's a pretty deep, and I don't know when that was recorded, when that line, when that particular verse was laid down, because, like I said, the other year, maybe 2011, maybe the beginning of 2012, Crazy said he was leaving the group, and he did for a time, but then they started doing shows, reunion shows, and they had a lot on their plate. Rock the Bells, and then to hear a lyric like that, we don't know if it was that point, and then, like I said earlier, this year, Lazy stepped away from the group to focus on his solo career, so there's obviously something going on there, and I'm not trying to overanalyze the situation, and like I said, I'm no hip-hop critic, I'm no authority on Bone Thugs, I'm just going by, this is just one fan's opinion and thoughts on this particular album, but overall, their career. So, I just, when you hear a lyric like that, it's pretty deep, so whatever's going on, I hope that in the future they can patch things up, and if not, best of luck on solo careers and whatnot, but just this album, like I said, I know DJ Unique, who you heard at the end of the intro there, he does own, I guess, part of the catalog for Bone and does stuff, and I'm sure they all agreed to release this album, not all of them, but I'm sure some of the members of the groups were there, just to, get some new music out there, which is fine, but the title should have never been marketed or labeled as a Bone Thugs and Harmony album, because it's not. And Art of War, World War III should not have ever touched been thought of for an album title for this album, because it's a complete letdown when you compare it. I'm not saying that you need to compare older work with newer work, but when you, like I had said in my thoughts on the Eminem CD, Marshall Mathers LP2, when you label something like that, you have expectations that you need to live up to, and Eminem lived up to the expectations of the original Marshall Mathers LP by releasing the Marshall Mathers LP2. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Bone Brothers, whatever you want to call this particular album, did not live up to the expectations. Again, I say that the album is not that bad, but it ain't the greatest either. And we hope to see more efforts from this group in the future, and hopefully they can get on board and get back together with one another. And I wish the school bus would move in front of me. But that's it. That's just my thoughts, like I said, on this album, Art of War, World War III, by Bone Thugs and Harmony. As always, I encourage you to rate, like, subscribe, and if you feel very kind, favorite it. And let me know what your thoughts are. If you're a Bone fan, maybe you're not recently, but within the past few years, became a fan of Bone Thugs. Like I said, I've been down since 1994. So I'm curious to hear any thoughts or input you may have on this topic. Alright, y'all. I'm going to finish my ride home from work. Y'all be safe. God bless y'all. And until the next time. Piggity, piggity, peace.